As a mother, I don't have a lot of time to spend in the kitchen preparing meals. I take my family's favorite meals and I put a veganish twist on them. These recipes are quick and full of flavor. The Veganish kitchen is about food, love, family, and my love of cooking for my family. We love hard and we eat good. So come along with me as I give you a glimpse into my life, planning, prepping, and serving Veganish meals. It's Thanksgiving today, and my family's in town, and we're going to be preparing a lot of dishes, and I'm going to show you how to make some of them. We're going to start with my mom in the kitchen showing us how to make my great Aunt George's famous yeast rolls, and then my mom shows us how to make her greens where she uses mustard, turnip, and collard greens. Then me and my sister Nisha work on beefless ribs. I show you how to make vegan dressing, and then my brother Courtney and I make mac and cheese, dairy-free though. And my sister has veganized a sweet potato pie just for me. Thanks, Tiffany. Hi, welcome to the Veganish kitchen. We are working on the yeast rolls first. So it's Thanksgiving and lots of things going on today. This is the first dish we're gonna get started on. And my mom is here and she's going to make my great aunt, her aunt George's yeast rolls. These were like one of my favorites. So mommy, tell us what we do first.
Okay, I've already put a half a cup of water and a half a cup of milk in a pan.
So this is
get very, very hot.
Yeah, dairy-free milk, right?
Dairy-free. Yes, I use oat milk.
Okay. So you could use other types of milk, right?
Yeah, you can use anything that's plant-based.
Okay. Have you tried it with anything else?
I've tried it with the soy milk.
But you like oat milk better?
No, I like the
oat milk.
Oat milk better. Okay. I'm going to add the butter first.
And all of that? Was that a half a stick of butter?
This is a fourth of a stick of butter. What?
Nothing.
And I'm going to put this back on the pan, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar once this is
and the sugar's just to give it a little bit of a sweet taste. Yes. Just lightly sweet. I know that was one of my favorite parts when she would make the rolls. You could just eat these all by themselves.
We're going to put that back on, I think, on the stove. And then
it's melting right now. It still needs to go on the stove.
Okay. Then if it's melting, then we can just go ahead and add the sugar.
Okay.
Now what I'm putting in is a half a cup of sugar. And then I'm going to add the yeast. And the yeast has to be nice and...
Do I stir it or let it sit?
Yeah, you can keep stirring it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
Now I'm using plant-based eggs.
And you put that in already?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not too hot? Okay.
You just keep stirring.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is plant-based liquid eggs. So they have plant-based eggs that start from dry, but this one starts from the liquid, right?
Yes. I use just...
So you buy this in the refrigerator aisle next to the eggs?
Yes.
Okay.
And certain stores don't carry it yet.
Oh, okay.
But you can usually get it at
like a specialty store?
A specialty store.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do...
So this is done? How long we do this?
Until it's all mixed in together.
See, the reason why my mom had to show me how to do this is because when I was 13, I thought I was being slick. And I asked my great aunt to show me how to make these rolls. And then as she was showing me, I slipped away to my bedroom because I just wanted to eat the rolls. And then I came back out when they were done. And then she passed away a few years later, and I kept kicking myself for not knowing how to make these because I didn't have anybody to make them anymore. But my mother, she figured out how to make them because back then they just wrote down the ingredients. They didn't actually write down the recipe. So you knew the ingredients, but you didn't know how it was actually prepared. So
now
she figured it out.
Add that into this greased. I buttered some. I put some butter, plant-based butter, in a bowl. And you can put that in here.
So pour this in? Okay. Is that good? Because I think
I see
some yeast still in there.
Yeah.
So that needs to be whisked out. Let me get a whisk. I still see some yeast. So this is right?
Yeah.
And that's the right temperature?
I think that's the right temperature.
All right.
All right.
So just pour this in
Pour
first?
that in, and then we're gonna put in, I have like 4.5 cups of flour.
But you don't need all that. Some of that's for kneading.
Yes, just a little bit is for kneading.
So you're gonna do a cup at a time, add it in.
And I'm gonna stir.
Whisk it or stir it?
I'm gonna stir.
With the wooden spoon?
Yes, with a wooden spoon.
And you're just trying to incorporate that all in there. Do you want to use the whisk at first?
We can.
And that way you can get in a little bit better.
You know, we didn't have a whisk when I was coming up.
You didn't have a whisk?
No.
When did they start making whisks?
I have no clue.
How old are you? They have no whisk. I don't know how old she is. She talking about she don't have no whisk.
No, we didn't have a whisk. I'm gonna put a little bit more flour and keep this.
Maybe they were making whisk and you guys just didn't have one.
Maybe we didn't. But I don't think they had a whisk. We had a spoon.
Okay. Okay.
All right, and I'm gonna put a little bit more.
Okay, I think the whisk is not gonna work anymore.
Okay.
Now, spoon.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can continue doing that.
And I'll stir.
Yes.
Okay. So how many cups is this? This is the third cup?
Third cup.
Okay.
Here.
Should I turn the oven on so it's have a place to warm place?
Turn it on for a little bit.
On like 275?
No, 200. See how that is? And you normally would knead it for about 5 minutes. To do, yeah.
That's where a stand mixer come in.
Yes.
I told you.
I'm gonna go wash. Oh, jeez.
That was from all that mixing, my strong arm. So we're gonna take this bowl right here.
We're gonna take that.
Do we need to put oil in the bowl?
I
have. You just gonna put some butter on it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna put some butter
So
around it.
And then we need to put some plastic wrap on top.
And plastic wrap on top.
Okay. And so it needs 2 rises on an active dry yeast.
Yes. What we'll do is
So this rise is once for 45 minutes or an hour?
about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay, so it's going to double in size.
And then what we're going to do is
Take it out, knead it again.
We won't need to knead it. We'll just make the rolls and then let it rise.
Okay, in the pan we're going to bake it in. Okay, so the girls are over here. They were cleaning all of the greens. So we're going to, so those are about done. We're going to go ahead, clean this little mess up, and then we'll start on like cutting up the greens and stuff. So just give us one moment. Thank you, girls. So now that you're done cleaning these greens, can you guys get started on the napkin holders, making those for me? Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So the girls have cleaned all the greens, and we have 3 different types of greens. Typically, I think a lot of people do just collard greens, but my mom has always done a mix of greens where she does collards and mustard and turnip. And so mustard and turnip actually have like a spicy peppery note. The mustard has more of a spicy note than the turnip, but the collard is mild in flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. So you said you're gonna go ahead. So how do you cut them?
And normally what I do is, and I know everybody does it different. Some people tear theirs apart and all, but I found that to be time consuming. So I usually take a portion of them and I roll them up and then I cut them.
Okay,
I
that
saw
looks
someone
quick.
doing this and I said, oh, that's a lot faster than what I normally do.
So while you're doing that, I'm going to work on slicing up these onions. I'm gonna use this for garbage bowl.
Okay.
As we were growing up, my mom always made the greens. They're so good. And you add all these different flavors, but you would typically add smoked turkey, right?
Yes.
So to veganize these, you are adding liquid smoke.
Yes.
And some smoked paprika, because that actually gives it a smoky flavor as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now we have a pot of vegetable broth on the stove.
So that's already going.
So that's already going.
So should I just go ahead and add the onions to that now?
Yeah,
Or do I?
Wait until I can get these collard greens on, and then you can add them on top of that, along with the garlic.
Okay. And we're mincing the garlic, or we're just gonna put the clove in?
I've always minced it.
Okay.
And the reason we're putting collards on first is because there are hearty greens. They're pretty.
They're a little tougher.
Yep.
So they need to. And you can really, you can look at that and see, because if you look at the leaf, it's like the tear of it. It takes a little bit more effort to tear than like
the mustard,
which just kind of, and even just looking at it when they will put in water, you can see how it already soaked the water in really quickly, but the collard, the water's laying on top of it. So you have to take more effort to cook them down. So that's why we're starting on the collards first. So let me finish slicing these up. So how much longer do they need to cook before you start putting in the mustard and the turnip?
I'm going to say probably about 20 minutes or so.
So let them cook about 20 minutes first? So how long do they need to cook all together?
They usually need to cook a good hour or more.
So with the liquid, we just filled it up to about 3/4 the way up, a few quarts of water, but it's going to depend on the pot size. You just want to make sure you have lots of liquid in there. And it's best to use some kind of broth, and that's why we use the vegetable broth. But obviously, if you don't want to, you can just use water and then season it from there. Because we've done that before as well, where we didn't use vegetable broth, and they turned out really good.
You can add the onions now.
Okay.
Or at least half of the onions. Because you want to add.
So all the different seasonings that we have here, when did we add those? Do we add them now, or do we wait until a little
You can
longer?
wait until you get some of the greens already cooked down, because greens cook down quite a bit. That's why you usually get.
That's why you have to get so many.
more.
Because we had 2 bunches of each of these, right?
Yeah, and they're gonna.
And it looks like a lot, but once you get it all done, it's not going to be as much as you think. So you always have to get way more. And so because the turnip and the mustard both have some peppery bitterness to it, we're using some of the sugar to cut it, but we're also using vinegar, right?
Yeah.
White vinegar, or you can use apple cider vinegar. Either one of those will help cut some of that bitterness and make for a pleasant green. Okay, so while you're putting it in, you stuff it down. So while you're putting it in, I'm going to stuff it down so that it doesn't go too high.
And then you can turn the heat down once we get all the greens in and put the lid on.
And then just kind of let it simmer.
Let it cook on probably medium. And you can also add the onions, the rest of those onions.
Now.
Yeah. And probably a little more salt.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna wait until and see how that tastes. And we're gonna add this pepper.
Nice big pot of greens going. So while those are going, I'm gonna go ahead and check on the girls. How are you girls doing? Oh, Lizzie, get off your phone and help. Liz, how are you doing on this?
All right.
Okay. Let's see. Do you like it?
Not necessarily.
You think it needs a little bit more? Well, why don't we see about using this twine and then adding some extra texture to it? Maybe something like this. Like wrap it around at the top and bottom or something. And then you still leave the shell in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that looks nice. You like that? Okay. All right. You guys look like you're doing a good job.
Are you guys needing help?
Actually, yes, I'm working on beefless ribs, and Tiffany's working on the batter for the fried oyster mushrooms. So someone can help by frying the oyster mushrooms, and then someone can help me do this beefless ribs.
I'll fry those mushrooms.
Okay, thank you.
I guess that means I'm doing beefless ribs.
All right. Well, I have roasted these mushrooms.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do, yes, it is, because we're gonna make them beefless. So there's no meat in it, but
As long as they taste good.
yeah, exactly. So this mushroom, and I want you to taste the mushroom, because then that'll kind of give you an idea of the texture.
Okay.
Okay. Scoot on in here, get close to me.
All right.
And I'm gonna put these here, because what we're gonna actually do is shred them. But I want you to taste some first.
You want me to shred them?
Yeah, I did. Is that not something you can do?
No, you can do it, because I really don't know nothing about shredded mushrooms.
Oh.
This is new to me.
I'm going to show you. So first,
Okay.
let's taste this.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh yeah, this is all this is shredding.
Okay.
So taste some of that. Pick one. Yeah, just pick
Just
it
try
up.
it? All right.
You see the texture? Kind of meaty. So these roasted in the oven for about 40 minutes
Okay.
at 350
Okay.
to get us to this type of texture.
Tastes good though.
So this right here is all I need you to do, is take it and shred it as small as you can.
It looks like meat.
It does. It does. These are king oyster mushrooms. So these are like the big brother to the oyster mushrooms, kind of.
So this is more like a pulled.
Yeah, you can do like a you can do like a pulled
I had a different vision. I had a vision of, you know.
Oh, well, that is what it's going to be, because actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and add it to our seitan.
Okay.
And so that is vital wheat gluten and some chickpea flour, and we're going to actually add that into there to give it more texture and flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
I'm
have
waiting
to.
for that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that point, but this is what I'm looking for you to do. So you want to go ahead and start on that.
Okay.
And I'm going to start on putting the vital wheat gluten together. So we're going to put that in here. And vital wheat gluten, it's the gluten of the flour. So like they take the old way, the traditional method was to take the flour, the wheat flour, and you're just washing all of that wheat, the flour off in order to get to the gluten.
Okay.
And so now they've kind of updated the form of it by already having the gluten taken out.
Okay.
And you can just buy this in the store, just the vital wheat gluten part. So when it's together, it's like the part that holds it all together, and it's really tough.
Yeah.
And to cut that, you put chickpea flour in.
Okay.
You can also do, I think, like baking powder or something like that, but we're going to use chickpea flour.
Okay.
And mix that in. And then I also have, some seasoning liquid, which has spinach in it. It has liquid smoke, It's got a bunch of spices. Let me see, salt and pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika.
Oh, okay.
It's got lots
Sounds
of,
good.
yeah. You can smell it. Does that smell like a
I
rib?
smell the liquid smoke.
It smells like a rib.
It smells like a the outside grill.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna pour that in here. Stir it up some. And so that has all the smell, all the flavors. Did you know what, Nisha? With any meat that you have, it doesn't taste like anything until you put seasoning on it, right?
No.
Right?
I'm frying. They frying loud too. I'm actually excited to see how this tastes when you're.
Yeah, when it's all done.
The
Okay.
liquid smoke got me excited.
I know, because you smelled that smoky flavor in there. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
I'm serious about this.
So, while you finish that up, I'm going to go ahead. This is jackfruit. Jackfruit is actually a fruit, but again, you want to taste
what
that?
is that?
Jackfruit.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's actually not from here. It's an Asian fruit. It's like, it looks like a big, huge watermelon, like oddly shaped watermelon, but it grows on a tree.
Looks like crab meat to me.
It does, and sometimes they use it for crab as a crab meat substitute, but a lot of times they use it as a pulled chicken or pulled pork substitute.
Oh.
Do you want to taste it?
I want to taste it.
Sure, put a piece there for me.
I want a big piece. I want another piece.
Okay then.
Yeah, so it didn't really have any kind of taste.
I mean, how you going from a crab substitute to a pulled pork substitute? That's
It's just the texture.
very versatile.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought I was tasting it, so it's not really the taste, it's the
It's the texture.
Okay, I'll give it texture.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
It's a decent texture, firm, not mushy.
Right. And we're going to put that right in here. Mix it in. And if I had not put chickpea flour in here, I wouldn't be able to move this around too much at all. I wouldn't be able to get it in there.
So this thing here, this concoction, this is mainly for texture. This.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all for texture, because you actually can do the flavor, and the seitan will give you a meat substitute that you can slice. But this texture helps with the to make it more of a beefless kind of rib. You know how it is when you eat a beef rib and you pull on it,
Yeah.
and how it shrings a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it's doing,
Okay.
and that's gonna give that string to it. So will the jackfruit, will add some extra texture.
This has the perfect stringiness to it. This is perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the truth be told, my household, we are trying to cut down on meat. I've been the one that's most resistant because I love meat. But, the more we can do substitutes or alternatives that are not nasty, the more I'm open to it. So,
Exactly, because it's hard to transition if the food isn't good. This shouldn't be a diet, it should be a life change. And it can't,
that's what they say.
and if you can't uphold the life change because the food does not taste good to you, there's no point in making it,
Well, I have to be honest, some of the stuff that you've been making, it does look intriguing, it does look like it's tasty, it looks attractive. So, I've been much more open, so you're definitely doing your part to make people open to this.
Yes, well, that's a good thing.
So,
You have checked out my Instagram, right?
okay.
Right? You've looked on my Instagram page then, is what you're saying? And you can also check out my Instagram page and see some of the other recipes I've had on there. We've got like walnut meat recipe is on there. I think I have some cinnamon roll recipes on there. So, you haven't had a cinnamon roll. I didn't make any cinnamon rolls this morning for breakfast. We had chocolate chip banana bread. I think that's on there also. That chocolate chip banana bread from this morning was vegan. You like that, right?
I do have that.
Yeah. Just saying. I'm just trying to make sure every bite of seitan has some texture in it. Thank you. I'm going to, so what I'm going to do,
All right, now the magic happens.
we're going to try and make some magic happen.
Okay.
I'm going to put all this out here.
Okay.
I'm just going to kind of make it into this little log. Actually, I'm not going to use all of it right this moment. Let me do it this way. Make it into this little log. Do you want to try one?
Yeah, they look good though. The battle, because you know something looks nasty. You don't even want to. You don't even want to try it. So now you're rolling it out. What are we doing?
I am rolling it out. This is in place of kneading it.
Okay.
But I'm rolling it out because I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to lay it on top.
Okay.
I'm going to pull this off the top. And I'm going to take some of this
Okay.
and just lay it on here. So we have everything going in our favor right at this moment.
That's what I want to see what this does to the texture. I'm curious on that. We need more?
Yeah, let's fill all of this in.
Okay. So I'm very curious on the texture there. Because I went to a vegan restaurant once and I had some sort of riblets or whatever. But I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it because I didn't like the texture. So that's why I want to taste your ribs and see if they're better than the bogus ribs I had at that other place. So we shall see.
We shall see.
All right, so what's next?
So now I'm just gonna just put this on top.
Oh, okay, you gotta put more? Okay.
I'm just putting this on top and then,
You're gonna roll it in?
thank you. Now we're gonna make it kind of like a rib. I'll do my best. Let me see, because I went off of the plastic. Thank you. There we go. So we're gonna do it one fold, and then we're gonna do another fold. There we go.
Okay.
You get a pan, and then we're gonna cut this. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut them into their individual pieces.
Okay.
And then we're gonna stick it in the
Kind of like
oven.
riblets.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to cut these into about 2-inch pieces. I have so many different textures going through there. Make sure this oil is off, because it will stick. Okay. You hear that? Doesn't that sound like I'm cutting through some?
It does.
So, all right. So we got to put foil on top of this so it doesn't dry out when we put it in the oven. Because you actually, I'm just going to use the foil from earlier because you know I don't really like to waste.
Exactly.
And I use this with the oyster mushroom, so I'm just going to put this back on top and then just use it with this. The oven is all done preheating. It's at 350 for 30 minutes. That's what we're going to bake it at. Thank you. Put the timer on. I'm going to start with 25 minutes and check on them. So we just put the ribs in the oven, and I asked the boys earlier if they would work on setting the table, so I'm going to check in here trying to help y'all.
Take these two.
Let's put this table runner down. So the reason why I wanted you boys to work on the table today is because a lot of times boys do not get a chance to learn how to set a proper table because they usually think, oh, the girls should do that. So I figured let's do that today with you guys on this special day.
I've been doing this for a long time.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna set for 6 people. And so we put a placemat down, and these are chargers. So we're just gonna put a charger down. And the charger is what you you set each individual plate on. So if you have a salad plate, you set it on there. If you have a dinner plate, then you remove that and set it on there. If you have a soup bowl, you remove that, you set the soup bowl down. So your tartar stays your whole meal. But your plate, your bowl, or your salad plate may not stay the whole meal. So now we're looking at your different utensils. So we have a salad fork, that's the small one. And then we have our dinner fork. And you set a table from the outside in. You set the utensils from this outside in. So whatever utensils you use first are going to be on your outside. And that's how you eat. So you always know how to eat your food based on what utensil is sitting on the outside. So if you have only a dinner fork, you know you're not going to have salad for dinner. But if you have a salad fork there also, then you know you're going to start with salad and you're going to use that fork. So if you ever wonder, there's so many forks on the table, you always start with the one that's on the outside for your first course, okay? Did y'all know that?
Yes.
Did you know that, Joshua? No? What about you? And your sister and your sister and your sister, they made these napkin holders. So we don't have a salad, so we're gonna start with we're gonna have dinner. Okay, that's fine. And then you put your knife on the inside, and you're gonna put your spoon on the outside.
That's a teaspoon. That's 2 spoons. This is a regular spoon.
There you go. Good job. So I got these disposable plates, guys, because I thought it'd be really cool. They're made out of palm leaves. That way, Mommy doesn't have a lot of dishes to do when it's all said and done. We can just toss these, and they'll just,
These are nice.
go right into the earth. And then you're gonna put these napkins right on top. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go finish up those ribs, and you guys can go get changed for dinner. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and grill these. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on the pan just to make sure they don't stick. Put a little sauce on there. So in St. Louis, like, this is very traditional in St. Louis to have some kind of like grilled meat, like multiple meats is really very normal. You know, they have like turkey and ham and brisket and ribs. So this is just going to be one of the meats that, or meatless meats that we're going to have today, just because I'm trying to make it as traditional as possible with a veganish twist. So, got a little sauce on here. And then I'm going to put them on the grill, and then I'm going to sauce the other side. And we really only need to grill just for a few minutes on each side, because meat is already cooked. We're not cooking it anymore, we're just searing it, making it have the grill marks. So this is going to continue to grill, and I will just let this people. So I'm going to get started on this dressing. I'm going to do a pan about this size. So I had my mom make some cornbread earlier. And so I'm going to mix everything into this pan.
Oh, wow. The rolls look like they're ready to go into the oven.
Okay. What are you putting the rolls on?
I'm going to put them on 325. Normally they're 350, but you have a gas stove, so. What I did was put a little butter on top, and I'm going to put them on for about 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, we'll Let me set the timer. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll check on them in 15 minutes. All right, so I have the cornbread in here. I didn't use the whole pan because I still got to get some celery and onion in here. So this is a cup of celery that I small diced and a cup of onion that I small diced. And just mix that in. Smells good already. I didn't put any seasonings in there. It's amazing how celery and onion can just automatically transform a dish. So I'm going to put some vegetable broth in. And I'm going to put some creamy mushroom soup. So this is dairy-free creamy mushroom soup, and I don't, typically in dressing you would just go and get the can of creamy mushroom soup, but I've never seen a dairy-free one, so I made my own. And the recipe is actually on Instagram or Facebook, so go check out my social media. It's at the Veganish Kitchen. That's on Facebook, and at the _Veganish Kitchen on Instagram. So this is cream mushroom soup, and I'm just going to stick that in here and give it some creaminess also. Mix that in. You want it to be moist, but not soggy. Some sage in here also. Actually, this is poultry seasoning, which has sage. It has sage, marjoram, thyme, some other seasonings like that. So if you get poultry seasoning, you have all the seasonings that you need. But the biggest one is going to be the sage, because you definitely want to have that in there. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Okay. Oh, those sweet potatoes. We got sweet potato pie coming up, so are they almost done? Because once those potatoes are done boiling, we can get started on that pie.
I need just a little bit longer.
Okay. Okay, well.
Looks good.
I think it tastes pretty good. So I just need to put some foil on top and put it in the oven as well. Let's put this to the side. Put this over here. I'm gonna clean up. All right, come on. So I already have the cashews here if they're soaking. They're going to soak probably about the same amount of time that we're going to have the potatoes, carrots, and onions boiling, because they need to soak at least 20 minutes, but they can go 2 hours or longer. So first, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the potatoes, the carrots, and the onions in, and then you can, bring that over for me. Got this pot going. This one. Let's put it in this one. Let's get all that in there. Okay. Let's put this over here.
How about this one?
And then yes, we can go ahead and put that in there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of salt in there.
What's a little bit of salt?
I just picked it up with my hands and
pinch?
plopped it in.
Oh.
A little bit more than a pinch. You kind of want ocean water with the pasta.
That's right.
And then we're making a veggie stock with the vegetables we used over there, and then we're actually going to take those vegetables and put it through a high-speed blender. These are the other things. So we have nutritional yeast, some salt and pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and some lemon juice to kind of to flavor it all. And then for the macaroni, we're going to take that cheese blend that we made, and then we're going to take some of these dairy-free cheese shreds, and we're going to mix it in there.
Okay.
It's going to be delicious. So The noodles are only going to boil for about 8 minutes, but the potatoes probably need about 15 minutes to boil.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a timer on so we don't lose track. So I took a look at the dressing and I pulled the foil off and I put it back in the oven to let it get a nice little crust on top. And so we've moved all the things over here. The pasta noodles have been drained and they're waiting for us to get this sauce together. I have the veggie mix right here and some of the vegetable broth over here to help for the liquid, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to start putting in these vegetables. It's the potatoes and the carrots and onions. We're just going to put all of those in here. Trying to get them all. And then you can put in the cashews. And those have softened and we drained them. And then there's nutritional yeast here. Put that in. And we got garlic powder and paprika. Yeah. And put all that in.
Salt, pepper.
Yep, salt and pepper.
And then we're going to do the lemon and the vegetable broth.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our solids, and then we do our liquids.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put about a cup in here and blend and see how it goes. Blend it on high. And we might need to add a little bit more liquid, so that's fine if we do.
Yeah, Crystal. This works.
This one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can see the difference in the texture.
Yeah, I like it.
It tastes cheesy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that amazing how you can put potatoes and carrots and some nutritional yeast together and all of a sudden it has like this
Yeah,
cheesy
this is
flavor?
actually better than my own.
Alright, so we got our cheese sauce. And then we're going to put it in this dish. I like this dish because I can actually bake in it and serve in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead, or do you want to put the pasta in here?
Yep.
Okay. And I got some butter to kind of roll through there. And we got some shredded dairy-free cheese as well. Okay. Let's pour the cheese sauce over it. And start mixing that, and we'll do it again. And let's get some butter in there too. The butter.
And you just do one layer of that mixed cheese on top then?
No, I
Or
actually
how do you
mix
mix
it.
it in?
Yeah.
Like mix
So
it? Okay.
I'll just, these are like 4 different types of mixed cheeses. So I have a Colby shred, a mozzarella shred, a cheddar shred, 2 different cheddar shreds, 2 different brand
sharp.
shreds.
A sharp and a mild, or?
They're just 2 different brands.
Oh, okay. Save it for the top.
Okay. Let's get all this out there. This is 10 minutes covered and then 10 minutes uncovered. All right, that's at 375. So you want to put it in or you want to put it in? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, that looks good. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the sweet potatoes. All right, Tiffany, come on. Let's start on this pie.
Oh, you want me to show you how to make a sweet potato pie?
Yes, I do. So we already had these. You boiled
Yes.
these potatoes. So,
So I run them over some cold water and peel them as I'm going. So we're gonna take it over to the sink.
yep.
Ooh, yeah, these are nice and hot. Can you get me a knife? I like to cut off the ends and
A sharp knife?
just a knife that, actually this one came off real easy, so I don't like it stringy. You know, sometimes you get those sweet potatoes and it tastes like the string and stuff. So I try to peel a lot of that off. It's like the part of the peel that, the skin that's right before the flesh.
Did you know sweet potatoes aren't even potatoes?
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Isn't that funny?
I'm gonna cut that up.
Okay. So I'm just cutting as you put them in, because we're going to just make it easier to puree.
This is so simple. This is probably one of the easiest desserts. And it's crazy how it took me so long to even try to make one. I never liked sweet potatoes until I got older.
Sweet potato pie has always been my favorite.
Never liked it, wouldn't touch it. I looked at it, color orange, was like, that's not what pie is supposed to look like.
Well, I looked at it and saw that you could put a boatload of whipped cream on it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's about the only part I liked.
I like that,
Whipped cream.
and the pecan pie.
Now I could do the pecan.
I heard people say that it's supposed to be pecan, and then someone said pecan, then someone said pecan.
Oh, pecan. Yeah.
They said it like
pecan.
4 different ways. I was like, 4 different pronunciations for
It's
pecan.
Started.
Okay, so this is all
Yep.
done.
That's the flush of it. And then it's really just adding the simple ingredients.
Okay,
So to
make it vegan.
yeah, I didn't always make it vegan. So Crystal asked me to make her a sweet potatoes pie, but she wanted vegan. So it's like, okay, I'll try to figure it out. And what I was able to do was I was able to substitute the milk that I would normally use for coconut cream. So it's a
Not coconut milk.
not coconut milk. Coconut cream's a little bit thicker than coconut milk. And then instead of eggs and butter, I'm using cornstarch as a thickener. So then all the other ingredients are pretty much standard to a sweet potato pie. We have our sugar and our vanilla, our nutmeg, our cinnamon.
Fresh ginger.
This is fresh ginger. This is something new that I've added. And then salt, which
brings out the flavor.
And goes a lot with baking and stuff.
So what did we put in first?
Honestly, it doesn't matter. This is the wonderful thing about this vegan recipe. You could just dump everything in.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put the
So
sugar
we're
in.
gonna dump it all in, and then we're going to mix it in with the hand mixer. Now I know some people will do the food processor, but I don't have one, so it's just a hand mixer for me. And this is the easiest recipe.
Vanilla. And then you said that's cornstarch?
This is cornstarch. This is 4 tablespoons because we're actually going to make a double.
Oh, okay, because this is for 2 pies, and not just one.
Yeah.
The sweet potato pie goes really fast in this house, with just maybe 1 or 2 people eating it. That's why we have to have the second one. So the rest of us
while
can
I'm
get some.
blending this, I'm going to have you go ahead and start on that pie crust, because that's another thing that I do a little differently than Crystal. She likes to have her pie crust rolled out. I just use a frozen deep dish one.
Which already comes in a pie pan.
Which already comes in a pie pan. So it makes it so easy. I think I needed a bigger bowl. I had 3 big potatoes this time. Out right in there. It's a little bit deeper of a dish.
So maybe this is not going to give us 2 pies.
Maybe it's not. This is a bigger dish than I thought. but that's actually good because it does rise a little bit,
Oh, so leave it right here.
just a little bit, but
Okay.
it should be okay.
So we'll leave that right here. And then we're ready to put it in the oven?
And that's it. We're putting it in the oven at 375 for about 40 minutes. We'll start with 40 and then we'll see if it needs to go any other.
Okay. Yeah, because this one's, it's oven.
Gas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gas in it.
oven, which I'm not used to cooking in, but I would like to have one at some point.
Okay. All right. And you said 40 minutes. So we're gonna get set up for dinner. You probably want to change,
Yeah, think so.
and then we'll see you at the table.
What do you want? Ow. Ow.
Ooh, we get the pie.
Right, guys. Let's say our grace, and then we can eat dinner.
Doing hands or no hands?
Hands up.
COVID? No, not obesity.
Guys, guys, hold hands.
Yeah.
What's your mushroom?
Jalen, don't you have any actual like hand thingy things? Like you know, Mama, can she see?
Yeah, do that one.
All right.
Y'all just got up for me to talk.
Okay. Oh.
Go ahead, read it.
Okay. So the first question is, what was Vine, and name one example of a Vine.
What is this foolishness?
Okay, what's name a Fortnite dance and then perform it?
What is that? Something like that? Or what is that?
What's the name? What's the name?
I don't know the name.
What's the name? Exactly.
Or are we just looking?
Stare at the
Are we
camera.
looking?
Thank you for being a part of our Thanksgiving. We are going to continue our family fun night.
Wait,
And we
smile.
will see you
I
next
just like
time.
to-
We were watching the Veganish Kitchen
Oh,
only on Taste on TV.
Oh, okay.
Just like